Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well, keeping safe, keeping warm. I tried filming this video yesterday, but my dumbass didn't charge the mic and it died on me. And I wasn't really feeling it because it's pretty cold. My town is in a winter storm watch, and it definitely is winter stormy because yesterday our power went out around, I think it was like 11 at night. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It came back at 1, but it's pretty cold here, so I hope y'all are toasty and warm. So I know why you guys are here, and you guys know why you clicked on the video, so let's get started. All of these stories are going to be linked down below. Our first story is, I told my cousin's 8-year-old son he could no longer play my PS5 after he repeatedly threw the controller. Am I the asshole? I, 43 female, had my cousin, 42 female, and her son, 8 male, over for a visit, and he was bored while me and his mom were talking. So I told him he could play my PS5. The problem was, every time he would die in the game, he would throw the controller across the room. The first time I saw him do it, I asked him to please not throw the controller. It's expensive to replace. In parentheses, like 70 to 80 bucks. The second time I saw him do it, I took it away and said he couldn't play anymore. My cousin was like, he's just a little boy, he doesn't know any better. I would understand if he had a disability, but he doesn't. I think 8 is plenty old enough to learn respecting other people's property. Am I the asshole? No, this one is pretty easy. I would say no. 8 years old is old enough to know, don't throw other people's things. And it's not just about, this is an expensive item. It's already, the console itself is expensive. Not everyone has the opportunity to buy these things. It's just, you don't throw people's things, ? Like, it's just, and even if it was his own, let's say his mother bought him his own console, I would say it's unacceptable to do that as well, even if it's your own. There's other ways to take out your anger. Also, it's just a little game, buddy. You don't need to do all that. But I think it's not a surprise to me, the mom's answer, given the kid's actions, what he's doing. I remember my brothers letting me play on their, what was it, I think it was like a PS2 at the time. They had the PS2 and the PS3. Yeah, whenever I would die in a game, I never thought about throwing the controller. And the mom definitely has to sit down, have a talk with that kid before he gets older and does other things besides throwing a controller when he's mad in a game, okay? She's bringing up another Kyle that throws a punch through the wall. We don't want that, so. Also, the person that wrote this post, OP, is better than me, because after the first time she saw him throw the controller, I wouldn't have given him even the chance to, grow from that, and let's say he doesn't throw it again. I wish she went into a little bit more detail. What was the kid's reaction the first time? Did he even say sorry? Just the bare minimum there, apology. But she gave him a chance to do it his second time, and that's where I wouldn't do it. I'm not taking a second L just the first time. Just don't throw my controllers. Personally, I think no, you're not the asshole. This second post is titled, Am I the asshole for marrying men in video games? I just shared this story online for the first time last night, but I got no validation, and I'm hoping people here say I'm all good and totally in the right and a perfect angel. Anyways, I'm 23, man in the story is 29. I met my husband when I was in college. He was graduated, but sometimes he liked to go to campus because he was nostalgic. We met and hung out and ended up having kind of a rushed COVID-era marriage. It was unique and etc. I ended up dropping out of college because of the stress he had with me always there. And I was married anyways, and honestly, I personally like the idea of being a stay-at-home mom. In parentheses, when I have kids. I don't at the moment. So I stayed home. I cleaned and cooked, and I got to decorate too. Go to stores and find little things or new furniture, etc. I made most of our curtains and tablecloths myself, had yoga classes, and got a Switch and played video games. I mostly stay home. One time I went to campus. In parentheses, he goes when he feels nostalgic, so I figured I'd get lunch there and see if it's fun. And at dinner, I told him I went. He got really mad I did that. Later, I found out he went recently, so it was like, that could have been a date. We both felt nostalgic. why not go together? See if I like this thing you like. But instead, he yelled at me, then went there himself anyways. So it's only a problem for me, which seems cool. So yeah, I got more into games because there than shopping and yoga, it's kind of hard to form hobbies in a way we agreed on. Well, I like stories a lot. I mostly played games where you had an avatar in the world and they kind of represent you. So in one game, I married a guy named Priam. He was beefy and strong and ate a lot of meat, and I think he's a funny character. So I made my girl marry him. My husband talks about his games slash shows a lot. I talk about mine. Seemed fair. I never knew it bothered him that I married Priam. In parentheses, he later revealed that bothered him. But the bigger issue was that I married Raphael in another game, and Raphael and I kind of fangirled over. But the problem was, Raphael wasn't beefy and big, and etc. He is smaller and softer. He wears pink and he loves sweets. And he reminds my husband of a guy we know. So he got mad, yelled, which he only did for one other thing, called me names, whores, slut, etc., over it, and used the dragon guy from a video game to say I was planning on cheating. I left after that. Just felt confused and stressful. Wasn't sure what things would get him yelling. In parentheses, he only has twice, but the reasons make no sense to me. And I can't leave, but I also can't play games. Divorce was final a couple months ago. I feel fine and all, living with parents for now. Not sure when I want a new relationship or what I am looking for, etc., just like that. For real, in my head, I didn't do anything to warrant that. My parents still get it and are confused, but they say I'm in the right. My friends just say he's a creep. So I just want to see if unbiased people also think I'm right to go, or at least not a terrible person for it. In parentheses, and when I last posted it, I got no validation, like I said. Well, I'm here to give you your validation. You are not the asshole. And honestly, the story's kind of weird. I mean, you're saying that this man is 29, full on adult and over, and he got mad over a fictional marriage. I kind of see it almost like when partners have like a crush on a celebrity or an actor, actresses, any like singer out there, just celebrities in general, and no one really gets truly mad over that unless it's like an unhealthy like crush, like if it's like affecting negatively your relationship, then I would say something about it. But I mean, this is a video game. He didn't have to get mad over that. And it makes me think too that he got mad when you visited the campus, which it's weird that he visited the campus nostalgically, and let's say that's how you guys met, and you guys got to marriage, and later he got mad when you were going. Makes me think he was projecting, like maybe he thought you were trying to look for someone else there just like he was. Maybe that's what he was doing, but I just might be reading too much into it. But sounds to me like he might have been projecting just a little bit, and he was getting psyched himself out when you were getting married in a video game. But definitely not the asshole, and I'm here to give you your validation. Okay? I don't see you do anything wrong. Anywho, and this third one, am I the asshole for gaming with girls? So, I'm 27 male, a gamer. I game on PlayStation, and my girlfriend, 26 female, games with me. She only just started gaming a few months ago because I gave her my PS5 and got a second one for myself. A game I like to play is GTA 5 Online. You make your own character and do crime by yourself or with others all over Los Santos. Sometimes my girl plays with me and sometimes she doesn't. My girlfriend starts to get an attitude and be rude to me anytime I play with a character who is a girl character. In parentheses, it could be a guy in real life, who knows. Last night, in parentheses, Christmas Eve, she did it again. She just gets really rude and nasty when we are supposed to be enjoying our night. For context, I don't only play with girls, and she knows that. I play with men all the time, women sometimes. The other night, an 8-year-old invited me to play PlayStation. It's just gaming with people I'll never meet in real life and don't want to. She expects me to quit the game every time a girl pops in. Am I the asshole because I try to just ignore her because I view her mindset as very childish and toxic? I think this one's an also an easy one, not the asshole. But I do think you need to have like a good sit down, have a conversation with her because she might just be insecure. I was gonna say, as soon as I finished the post, that maybe she's insecure because that's how you met her, but nowhere on your post does it say like you met her that way. Um, but you did say she only just started gaming a few months ago, so that makes me think no, that's not why. She might just be a little. Again, you just need to sit down with this person because it might not be that big of a deal. I don't want to spiral it into like she just wants to have control over you. You can't talk with other women besides me. Um, I would just have a conversation because that's not. I don't think it's disrespectful or rude to talk with other people while you're gaming. Anywho, I hope you guys are able to have a conversation about it before it really, harms the relationship and there's no going back really. And just talk about why does it upset her so much if she knows it's a game. I mean, at 26, you should be able to wrap your head around like, hey, it's a game. Like these people in game, because it might be a real person on the, there's GTA role play. There's a real person on the other side. It's not like a video game where you're talking to someone. It's a video game where you can talk online with people, but it's still a character for me. If you could just explain that to her, maybe. But 26, she should be able to grasp that by now. But not the asshole, my dude. You shouldn't feel bad. Maybe just have a conversation. A bit of a trigger warning for this next one. There is mention of SA. So I will put a timestamp so you can skip if this topic makes you uncomfortable. So our next one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Quitting the VR Game After My Husband Touched My Butt? I, 35 female, was enjoying my current favorite game, The Last Clockwinder, when my husband, 35 male, sat down in the room and joked I should grab your butt while you can't see me. I told him no, that I did not want him or anyone else touching me while I'm playing VR. I told him not being able to see made me feel vulnerable and jumpy. 10 minutes later, I hear him say to himself again that it would be funny if he grabbed my butt. I told him again not to, and even went so far to say it would be SA if he did. He laughed. Not even 2 minutes later, he touches my butt. Thanks to my fancy new VR 2 that I don't think I'm comfortable playing again, I didn't even realize my butt was near him, so my guard was completely down and my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I screamed, but thanks to my lack of breath, it was just a feeble squeak. I told him very sternly that what he did was not acceptable and he told me I was overreacting. I said he upset me greatly and he told me I was being ridiculous for being upset when he was my husband and all he did was touch me. He kept trying to tell me I was wrong because we were married, but I didn't let him finish. I interrupted him at least 3 times, saying that it didn't matter who he was, I had said no, and he had ignored me. When it became clear he wasn't going to see my side, I said goodnight and went to bed. He has told me since that I was rude and oversensitive and that I owe him an apology for not letting him explain himself. I have been SA'd multiple times, so maybe I am being too sensitive. Should I ignore it since we're married? Am I the asshole? Yeah, I don't think you're the asshole. The asshole is definitely your husband. First and foremost, it doesn't matter if you're married. You're able to say no whenever. You know, if you're not feeling it anymore, if something makes you uncomfortable, you should be able to say no, especially if you're married. It should be someone who respects when something is just not right with you. You just say no, and he should be able to just respect that. But it's crazy that he went so far to voice what he wanted to say or what he wanted to do, I mean, and you told him no, that is a bad idea, and he still went ahead and did it. So I think he owes you an apology, and especially have a sit down with him again. That why was that one of the first things he wanted to do? Especially, I assume you've told him about your SA experiences, so it's kind of weird that that's one of the first thing he wanted to do, because he thought it was funny and didn't think about you, given your experiences, would be very uncomfortable given your experience and in the situation he wanted to put you in. He definitely didn't think about it all the way through, or he did and he didn't care, and that's what's a little unnerving to me. Like, you know, your wife went through this and he still thought it was a good idea. Not the asshole. and definitely reinforce if you already have those boundaries or set some new ones that, if I tell you no, it's a no. Like, and I hope he does apologize to you. Okay, and this one's our last one, guys. So don't forget, if you liked this type of video, go ahead and give me a like, please, please. Okay, and our last one is titled, Am I the Asshole for Not Getting My Daughter a Computer for Christmas? I have a son, 13 male, and a daughter, 15 female. My son has on multiple occasions expressed that he wanted a gaming desktop. He has a gaming laptop from 2 years ago, but he would be more comfortable with a proper setup. It is his hobby, and he has a lot of friends into gaming, and I am a casual gamer as well. I got him a nice monitor, and there's a few like specs here about CPU, GPU system. I got him a decent rig for Christmas as parts, so we could build it together for him. I don't believe in necessarily giving my kids what they want, but only if it makes sense to me. My daughter, on the other hand, isn't into gaming, has no friends into it either, and has a few friends in general. She also said she wanted a desktop PC, but she already has a desktop PC of mine that I gave to her. Um, Something quad, something GPU, guys. I don't know. She doesn't play that many games and is a bit more nerdy into schoolwork, learning to code and stuff. She has installed Linux on the computer, which is an operating system that doesn't work with games very well, even though I advised her against it. Additionally, since her friends don't game, I am concerned if she got into online gaming, as I have noticed people get very rude towards girls and I don't want her playing with strangers. She claims she wants the computer for both games and learning, even though her current one is fine for her needs. She got a little upset when opening her gifts because her brother got a PC but she didn't, and has been acting cold and implying that I don't like her because I hated her mom. I'm a single dad and I try my best, and her mom isn't in the picture anymore. Um, so I think, am I wrong to say that I think we have our first asshole? Because I think the other ones, the OP was never the asshole, it was someone in the story being the asshole, but this dad is being an asshole. And I would like to read the first comment that I see here by Middle Tap 6088. He said, "You're the asshole. You gave your son a $2,000 PC, well, $2,000 plus PC, and your daughter got a literal potato from 2007. Even if she doesn't game, you could have still gave her something better since you're over here dropping so much money into your son's PC." And I wanted to read that first comment because that puts a little more into perspective for me how much he spent on his son and what his daughter has, because over here reading the specs, I don't know much about that, so I was kind of like, what does that mean? Um, but that's crazy. You spent that much on your son, and what? I'm just my question would be like, what did you give your daughter then? What did you gift her? Because how and I hate to be like comparing prices. This gift is more valuable because you spent more money, but that's not the case, or the point I want to make. It's more like you were willing more to spend on your son X amount of money, but not your daughter, which is older and not only would use it for, fun time. Maybe she wants to dip her toes into gaming, but she's using it for her education. She looks like she wants to learn more about coding. That might be her future job, and you're stunting her like want and her desire to pursue that by doing this. And that's honestly what you need to look at, the bigger picture, my dude. Like, of course, I'm not saying don't give anything to your son, but also show a little bit more love to your daughter. You're making her feel that way, that you don't like her. She's been acting cold and implying that I don't like her. How else would anyone take this? You spent that much on your son, and what did your daughter get? I'm assuming nothing, because you didn't mention it. Otherwise, you would have. Because she already has a PC, which is your old PC. Something used, which, don't get me wrong, growing up, I had a lot of hand-me-downs, but over here, should have been a little more easier for you to spend on her, being the older one, in my opinion. 15, 13, I don't know. She's well into an age where she's going to get into high school, and she has to start thinking about her job after, like what her career line is going to be. I feel like I would have been easier for me to give her a setup than him, personally. But again, you got You gotta right this wrong, my dude. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what, but you need to show her that you really do love her. Next time, spend 1,000 on him, 1,000 on her. Seems like you have enough money for that. So, and that's it for today's video. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content. Also, if there's a certain theme you want me to do for the next Reddit story read, which might be in like February, maybe we can do a Valentine's Day theme. Couples fighting, couples arguing, fun. I could, or if there's another theme you guys want me to look for. This one was mostly about like video games and stuff like that, which is kind of surprising how many show up like couples, like arguing over it. Like you shouldn't be spending that much time, or as you saw, someone marrying someone else in a video game. Like it's crazy world out here, y'all. But yeah, toodles. Enjoy the outro.
And this week's song is Lagunas by Peso Pluma and Jaciel Núñez. Thank you. Y nado entre lagunas de mi mente que se hacen por saber qué se siente volver a besar tu frente. Tal vez en otra galaxia sí fue diferente. Tal vez ahí sí se nos dio lo que quisimos siempre. Yo, mi buns, don't forget to subscribe.